Okay, here we go. Welcome everyone to an all new edition episode of Changing the Game with me, G-Lew, and my beautiful co-host, Deandra Chanel. We got a good one for y'all tonight. So just kick back, relax. Yeah, yay. Without any further ado, welcome to the G-Lew Show, Changing the Game. I am G-Lew. That is Deandra Chanel.
Hello.
What's up, Deandra? How you doing?
Oh my gosh, you have no clue how excited I am for this one. So
Yeah.
it's few and far in between that I like fangirl. Like when we interview, I fangirled like once. This time, because this man is not only an icon in music, and he is one of the best known soul train dancers in history.
History.
He is also a fashion icon, and you know me and fashion icons. So, and he is now one of the stars of the family business on BET Plus. So we have an amazing guest, Louis Carr, if we can bring him in. Let's not keep the people waiting.
Oh,
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you? Thank you for blessing our platform. We truly appreciate you coming on.
Hey, it's an honor, but first things first, Lewis. Nah, it's Cuddy Mack.
Oh, well, excuse me, sir, Mr. Cuddy Mack himself.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. Come on, G Lou. That's like somebody calling G Lou G Lo.
yeah, yeah.
Come
And
on, man.
it happens. You wouldn't think, but much love to you, man. Big Cuddy. We got the Cuddy here. Man. Oh, go ahead, Deandra. Go ahead, Deandra. I'm excited
No,
to
I
go.
mean, I think we're kind of both on the same page here where we're like, oh my gosh, I have so many questions. So let us start with a little bit of your background. Where you're from, where you originate from, how you started in the business as a whole.
Well, that's one question. I'm just gonna flow the rest of the interview. I only need one question.
Oh, okay, now make
I'm,
it easy on us.
I'm messing with you. Anyway, first of all, what you guys doing, man? That's honorable, taking your time, making these platforms and videos, inviting people that you guys have interest in. It seems like it's from the heart, like what you guys are doing and the possibilities of where you can go. Because you, with all we do, when we passionate about something, it's endless to where we could go. So I got to give both of you a cutty finger salute and respect to that.
Thank you.
Um, of course, me. Born and raised Inglewood, South Central Redondo, black and Mexican. Grew up in Inglewood, survived the streets, played basketball, Rogers Park all my life, which kind of saved my life because we used to play basketball with the gangsters in Inglewood at Rogers Park, and even though they was gangsters on the outside, our game was gangsters on the court, so we earned their respect. And me, I was so drawn to just their power and their money and how they had respect in the ladies. And I always wanted to be around them and to be gangster like. But one cat, Spanky, he kind of saved my life. He was like, listen, man, you got a talent. Do something with it. You can admire us, but don't be us. Our street is a one-way street. We do this to survive, which kind of taught me the game of politics in the streets, just being a man. So fast forward from being a basketball player, I would always watch Soul Train like in the 70s, for the ladies, for the groups. Coming to 80s, my roommate, George Chambers, rest his soul, his honey dip, she used to dance on the show, but she was on the floor, so she really couldn't have the power to get me, and just a black and Mexican 6'5" cat with coolness to get in there. So I went to a couple of tapings, you know what I mean, and I couldn't get in. Next thing you know, I went back to Rogers, the ball. One of my cats was like, "Yo, Cuddy, you gotta stand out." So he told me to go to Market in Manchester and get a tux. So I went down to Market in Manchester and got a white tux with a white Borsalino and a cane and some white biscuits. And I was just standing out there talking to the honey dips. Finally, the dance coordinator was like, "Man, come on, man, come in." So once he let me in, I'm 6'5", I'm dancing in front of the stage, right? You go see me. I just wanted to be seen one time, a couple times in Inglewood, boogieing. I see Chuck Johnson, rest his soul, talking to Don Cornelius, rest his soul. He was like, "Man, that guy right there, tell him to come here." Well, at least I got a couple dances in, right? I'm thinking I'm getting kicked out. He sends me to the center riser. Now I'm up there with all the big shots. That was all I needed, because I knew that was my destiny, to be an entertainer.
Wow.
Again, being black and Mexican, you can either be a gangster, a drug dealer, a working man, or a passion, or find what you ever want to do as far as an entertainer. So that was my intro into being an entertainer. It kind of saved my life. Soul Train.
Wow. Hey, before we go on, I know I'm cutting into Deandra, but speak on that, because I didn't know what like you said, you're black and Mexican. How was that for you growing up in LA, Inglewood? Because that's talked about now, but early, you were obviously one of the first, to grow up like that. How was that for you growing up in LA and Inglewood as a biracial Mexican and black young man?
It was tough, because the blacks and Mexicans back then, you got along in the streets, But if you ever went to the county, to the pen, there's they separate. That my rest my uncle's soul, Ricky Garcia. He was a true gangster from Redondo. Also, my Mexican side, I grew up in Redondo. So the biggest lesson he taught me, he was like, "Mijo, homie, if you ever went to the pen or the county, you have to choose a side. You're either gonna be black or Mexican. Whatever side you don't choose, they're gonna deal with you accordingly." So that was enough for me. But what I did love, and if I can just memory lane, is that the brown and the black culture, it's really no different.
Right.
It's music.
I agree.
Food, it's dancing, it's streets, it's hustle, and it's all family, just like the family business. So being black and Mexican, I'm both. My son Cassius, my wife is Guatemalan, so our son is black Mexican and Guatemalan. So he's gonna have to go through the same politics as being with these different ethnicities. But it just taught me two different cultures, which they all stand behind and love the passion of both cultures, the black and the. So I love being black and Mexican. I'm black and Mexican till I die. I'm Inglewood till I die. So that was a question I've never been asked. It's really no different. It's just love for who you are. So whatever color you are.
I think that's a beautiful thing, because that's the makeup of LA. You feel me? So you got the best of both sides, literally. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing, homie.
It is. But here's where it gets tricky. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit, if that's all right. Being an artist, being an actor, I went to audition for this movie, Faster with The Rock. And George Tillman Jr., he's the director. He wanted me so bad for one of the leads, the lead to go head up with The Rock.
Right.
But I didn't get the part. But he called me. He was like, "Ski, listen, man. Let me tell you something, Cuddy. You was my pick. And sometimes in Hollywood, if you're not black enough or Latin enough, it kind of it's tricky.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they wanted a character more darker, which, big ups to that cat. I just went in and did my thing, but for the director to say that to me, at least I booked the room with him in it. So, and Hollywood is tough. Growing up in Inglewood was tough, but I'm black and Mexican till I die. That's just what I am.
That's right.
Speaking of which, have you ever, to me, you give me this amazing style of like East Coast B-boy based off of the way you were dressing back in the day. Have you ever been confused for Puerto Rican?
I would say a lot of Latin, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, just that whole Latin flavor. But my style came from more so my black side. My uncle Cleveland, we called him brother. He was always sharp, from Stacey Adams to the brims to his suits, and my style kind of came from him, and also from the roaring 20s and the 30s and the 40s, like the James Cagneys and Humphrey Bogarts and all these cats, how they dressed. Nowadays when you see that, you think of Don Juan or a pimp, but these cats that was their style. So I kind of took that style on and took that with me with my character and my style on Soul Train, and just became, my wardrobe, and just became part of me and part of my Cuddy Mack style. So here I am, fast forward, still with the stingy brim.
So your longevity with Soul Train, you did a 10-year stint from 1980 to 1990, correct?
Yes.
So when did you know it was time to say goodbye?
When did I what?
When did you know it was time to say goodbye? Like after your 10-year run, when did you say, it's time for me to move on and do other things?
I would say for 10 years, I knew Soul Train was my destiny. I knew being an entertainer was my destiny. Don Cornelius, rest his soul again, he just gave me the springboard and the stage just to put my whole style out there so the world could see it first. The first really true entertainers that saw it was New Edition, right? So for the whole 10 years that I was trained, I saw the birth of hip hop, LL Cool J, Run DMC, Fat Boys, Big Daddy Kane, Dougie Fresh. And when all those cats would come, they would all like, yo, that's Cuddy. And where we would hang out or music videos and that. But what really put me on the map was New Edition. They was huge fans of mine. So I knew that I was living in my destiny. I knew that was my purpose, my introduction into the entertainment. But after a while, I said to myself, 10 years is a good run. I just didn't want to be an ornament, so I prayed on it. El Camino College, and God sent me to El Camino College. Just started taking theater classes. That's where I cut my teeth in theater and became a classically trained actor. So once I learned that craft, it was just to continue my destiny. If you understand what I'm saying.
So your iconic moves and your looks. You were always in some type of three-piece suit, a jacket, a coat, a button-down, like pants. How was it having to dance on stage in all that gear? Like, I'm sure it was extremely hot. It says a lot about your dedication to your craft when you're in full gear and you're having to sweat yourself up with stage lights and all that. Like, how were you able to sustain taping doing that?
A lot of your questions pertain to wardrobe, right?
I'm a fashion girl.
That's the thing. And I love that because, you know, my master teacher, Milt Casellas, Master K, he always told us, he was like, when you find that right jacket, that right hat, that right fit, you become whatever character or whatever you're doing. It's almost like when you put a dress on, or when Cuddy G, when he has his fit on, you feel a certain way. When I put suits on, I feel a certain way. When I put the Borsalino, I feel a certain way. Same with when Michael Jackson, when he would have his hat, or James Brown with the cape, or Elvis with whatever he wore. That just became part of your character and part of your vibe. Me, it's just the material that my soul kind of just, once I put that on, it's almost like with Superman when he has his cape on. So when I have my right wardrobe on, whatever it is, it just hugs me and takes me over, and then I can just perform whatever I'm wearing, and whatever I'm wearing just heightens of what you're seeing. Like Cuddy G said, he liked the green. This is Inglewood Money Green. This whole thing right here, this is Cuddy Mac. Cuddy Mac is just, it's just a vibe of coolness, of how the youngsters say swag. So I love material. I love style. I love to be and dress like a hoofer from back in the day. So it's just part of my DNA, how I dress. And it makes me feel a certain way, you know, kind of cool.
I know a lot of times this show, one thing that I've learned that this show has done is open the doors for designers and stylists in the game. Were you ever offered the opportunity to have other people dress you, or throughout your whole Soul Train career, were you the one doing your own styling?
I would pretty much dress myself because, you know, no disrespect to all the stylists or to yourself, but you might have a vision, right, of that cat, of that model or whatever, but my vision might be a little different than your vision. So when I see something, like maybe I'll start with the Stacey Adams biscuits, or I might start with a leather jacket, or I might start with a Borsalino and just build from that. The show I'm on right now, Family Business, there's a budget for all the top talent on there. They give you a budget, but they have to go and shop for you. See, nobody can do that for me but for me. Because then it's like this. You said you wanted to dress me, right?
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect, but you address me how you see me, right?
No. That's not how I work.
Okay, well, I'll let you expound on that, but how I see my character and how I'm able to maneuver through shopping for my style is just, it's a vibe. You know what I mean? It's like you might come with something that I'll wear, but it might not let me like really dance, or the musicality of the fit. So I like to pretty much dress myself because I know my style better than anybody.
Speaking of which, let's talk about your character on the Family Business, Marco Cruz. So you play Marco Cruz. You work a lot side by side with Yari Rivera and Emilio Rivera, right?
Yes.
So let's, for those of us who don't know, let's talk a little bit about your character. Who is Marco Cruz?
Senor Cruz? Yeah, it's fine. Senor Marco Cruz, he's in mafia. You know, I run the Mexico part of everything that's going on there. My faithfulness and loyalty to the Duncans LC is by far the most faithful. Whatever he needs done, I'm there. Without giving anything away, if you haven't seen the Our show, Family Business, is the first 4 seasons is streaming on Netflix. We just finished season 5, which is streaming on BET Plus. And it's crazy how I got that part because Carl Weber, he's a prolific New York bestseller writer. And one of my friends, James Black, in my acting class, knows him well. And Carl was looking for this senior cruise. He couldn't find it. He couldn't find him. So James Black, he asked James Black, he was like, who is that guy right there? I guess James was showing him some actors or some pictures. He was like, that's Cuddy. He used to dance on Soul Train, but he's an actor now. He was like, I like his style. So he literally called me in acting class, Carl Weber, and he was like, hey man, I heard a lot about you, man. So what you doing? I said, what are we doing? Next thing you know, I'm on set a week after that with this character, Senior Cruz. But the biggest joy for me was I knew my first scene was going to be with one of your favorites, Emilio Rivera, and his wife Yadi. So I got with my mentor. We took the script and we broke the script down. I said, listen, I want to know his part, her part, and most definitely my part, because I just want to get in there, friendly competition, and just devastate. Not the actor or the human, but just the scene and the story, because ultimately it's friendly competition at the end of that scene with Emilio, because we audition, we from the same trenches, the same battlefield. So I just wanted to be so much in tune and just devastate in that scene with him and Consuelo, who plays my sister, that all I wanted him to do after the scene was say, Carnal, you put it down, Holmes. And he did that. And that was my blessing, because I did all my work and I was so prepared for that scene and for that moment. And that was my motivation moving forward, to just devastate every scene that I'm in, friendly competition wise. But I owe that to my character, Senior Cruz. I was supposed to die in the first scene, the first season. But I said a line, just don't shoot me in the face, because Consuelo, she shot me. So I added a line, just don't shoot me in the face. And Carl ran out, Andy ran out, Trey, the director, ran out. And Carl's like, man, you saved your life. And I had to go write you some more scenes. But it was, again, like Soul Train, it was part of my destiny. So, man, I feel like I'm talking too much. Yo, G, you still with us, baby boy?
I'm with you. I'm letting Deandra get hers off. I got a lot for you. I'm just letting Deandra get hers off. You feel me?
Yeah, let's
We
get
have
the
this thing where we each, like, when we have a guest on and we're real excited about that guest, like we each have our guests like, oh, I need this one, and you're like that for both of us.
Yeah, I'm
So we're like,
excited. I'm just excited too,
but
man.
yes, I would actually love to kick it over to my co-host. I know he has quite a few questions for you.
Yeah, I got some questions. I want to go back. I want to talk about this Soul Train shit, right? But before I do that, let me do this right here, right quick. Hold up. Let me do this right quick.
Man,
I had to give it up.
thank you, man.
Yeah, salute. Salute,
That's
salute. That is
amazing
your
to know to
flowers.
see that again.
That's emotional ride right there. That's memory lane right there, G.
You did that, bro. You did that. That was only just a small percentage what I could put in there, but man, you did it, bro. I mean, I want to ask you first, how did you even get introduced to be a part of Soul Train?
Uh, again, I'll go back a little bit. I was, like I said, and I watching Soul Train from my apartment in Inglewood, living with my moms and my pops. We would all wake up and do something on Saturday. Pops, he's drinking his beer, listening to Al Green. Mom's is downstairs making menudo and tacos, listening to Chente, salsa music. And I'm upstairs. I'm sorry, I'm downstairs in the living room watching Soul Train. The first time I saw it, I saw Al Green. Man, it was like something just came through the TV into my soul, man. I saw Al Green. He had I think his arm was broke. He had a sling on, but he was so funky, G, Cuddy G. He
Wow.
was so funky, man, and that it just went into my spirit. It went into my soul, and then the dances. Oh my God, yo, they would all be in unison. They all had style and afros and talking about a wardrobe. Man, I was a fan in the '70s, and I said to myself, unconsciously, consciously, I got to get on Soul Train. I mean, you had to. If you from California and you dance, that's where you went. You know,
Right.
I didn't go to be discovered. I just went because I wanted to meet some honey dips. I wanted to see artists. I wanted to dance. I wanted some of that chicken, which I heard about they was giving out. But
Right.
not to be facetious, I just knew that Soul Train was my destiny. I, I just knew it. It was in my heart. You know what I mean?
Right.
And my again, George Chambers, his girl, she danced on there. I begged him, George, man, tell your honey dip the one and tell her, please, man, she get me on. But she couldn't. So finally, eventually I got in. But once I got in, it was all over but the shop because New Edition saw something in me. And they said, as soon as they got there, these honey dips came up to me and was like, yo, Cuddy, this group, New Edition, they want to meet you. I was like, of course. They like 16, right? Of course, I go over to them and they looking at me like I was, you see Michael Jackson? Michael Jackson was my mentor, rest his soul. James Brown, my mentor, rest his soul. Elvis, I had all those ingredients, all those spirits in me with the Cuddy Mac. So New Edition, they saw me, they said to me, man, we love your style from Boston. They first time to California. They was going to perform Candy Girl. Bobby Brown, I put this on everything I love. Say, listen, man. We said, if we ever did Soul Train, we want you to come on stage with us. I was like, yeah, cool, but look, low key, don't tell Don. Because Don would have shut down. He would have been like, no, you're just a dancer. No.
Right.
Rehearse, no. Man, they performing Candy Girl, and I'm on the side. They gave me the Cuddy finger, and I came on. You'll see YouTube, Louie, New Edition, Candy Girl. It was all over but the shout. But that's just part of again, here's the word, destiny. It was all written. It was the blessing was all there. I just had to be there in that moment and just do my thing.
Right. Hey, that was actually a question from the chat. My brother actually posed that question about that situation with New Edition. Like you said, you spoke to them before, but it seemed that Don Cornelius was not happy with that. How did that go after that?
Well, that's his show. He's a conductor, all right. But what could he do? Because
Right.
it was in the moment. What could he do? Rest your soul, Don. But you know, and I know that was supposed to happen. That was our history and time. So he didn't go off on me, but he had to get his power back. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? So when I did my thing, there was one take. One take. If that was my last take, my last time on Soul Train, I didn't even know the history moment. You talking about icon, the history moment that I made in that moment. But again, destiny again. That was supposed to happen. As I finished, I'm a high five, New Edition. I'm going off stage. I'm walking right past him, and I can feel some energy. So he has to say, "Yo, Big Lou, stay off the stage with the singers." So he takes his power back, but in a charming, joking fashion. Did he say anything or get upset with me? No, because it all worked. Because it was supposed to happen. So he
Right.
said what he said. You know, Big Lou, he can't pop or lock. No, because I'm a Cuddy Mac and I don't pop a lock. No disrespect to them. But New Edition in rare form in that moment, don't even know me. They was like, no, we like him. We like his style. We like everything he does. We asked him. So
And you became pretty close with. I know after that you were in a few of their videos. After that, like Any Heartbreak, Not My Kind of like right.
Of course, they came from Boston to Inglewood to meet me, so we can make this history together. After that, I told you I was a basketball player. I was a center. We would travel. I would travel with them. I went on two world tours with them. We'd play celebrity games against Queen Latifah, Evander Holyfield, the True Live crew. We would travel every city with Young New Edition, which at that time was our young Jackson 5 or Temptation. So I got a chance to see the world with New Edition. The first time I went to New York, I think they 16, 17, we stayed at the Parker Meridian. They couldn't get out because they're young superstars. Well, LL had just performed, and so we just did Rock the Bells, and I Can't Live Without My Radio, so we connected there. When I got to New York, staying at the Parker Meridian by myself, just a cat from Inglewood.
Right.
New Edition didn't want to go out. Who comes and picks me up? LL. He takes me to the Latin quarters where I see Big Daddy Kane,
Wow.
Bismarcky, all those cats. So Soul Train kind of introduced me into everything. It was my springboard into entertainment. So saved my life. That's why I'm a Cuddy Mac till I die, man. So New Edition friends, we friends as we speak. Ricky Bell is my best man in my my wedding. So it's all love, baby. It's from the heart.
That's beautiful. There, I seen you even had a cameo in the movie that they had on BT, right? I seen that, homie. If you knew, you knew, right?
Yeah. But look, that cat, he should have talked to me because he wasn't a Cuddy Mac. He was a Buddy Mac. Yeah. Dude, you not representing me, homie. You should like the director. They should have called me because I would have put it in his shoulders. It's in here. It's in his shoulders. But anyway,
so you weren't happy with that representation. Safe to say you were not happy with that representation.
It's not that I wasn't happy. I'm just saying I was happy because they say, hey,
they just had you
part of our history. But if they would have called me, if the director Chris Robinson or whoever did it, call me, man. Give me just like we talking now. I would have said, listen, son, you gonna play me? You got to put it in your shoulders, baby. You got to put it in here. You can't be. No, that's not a Cuddy Mac. That's a Buddy Mac, man. I'm messing with you, man.
Hey, Cuddy. One more thing, on the Soul Train, like, just going back a bit because everyone that knows, like everyone in the comments says, like you were the like. No disrespect to a lot of stars on there. I know Rosie Perez. You know, a lot of people graced that Soul Train, but everyone knew you. You know what I mean? You stood out. You were the guy they look for. Like you were like when they seen you, they knew they were watching Soul Train out. You know what I mean? How did I mean? Of course, your rise to fame was undeniable on there because you stood out. But how long did it take for Don to get at you and you know give you your proper respect and give you the green light to do your thing?
As soon as they let me in, as soon as he saw my 6'5" ass busting some Michael Jackson in front of the stage and the camera's there and I'm just going back and forth. Not on stage, but in front of the stage. You gonna see me, I'm 6'5". So when he told Chuck Johnson, so that cat right there, put him on stage. In that moment, it was a wrap. It was the beginning of a 10-year span. All I needed was one shot. I just wanted to dance a couple dances. I didn't know I was gonna be, well, unconsciously, consciously, I knew, again, destiny. I knew I was gonna do something, but maybe bust a couple moves. But once he put me on that stage, I never came off. Once he put me on that stage, I was just in that physical emotion to the music, and I was acting before I even knew what acting was. I would go to Honey Dips. I'd go to a Honey Dip like I'm macking her, but I'm really saying, when that camera comes on, tell me. When the red light comes on, tell me. So you think I'm macking, but as soon as she tells me it's on, now I'm going straight to the camera. So I'm setting it all up. Cuddy Mac style, baby. Yeah.
Hey, Cuddy, let me ask you this though. How did you take to that just instant stardom, being famous? Like you were obviously overnight the man, right? I'm sure you're probably already doing your thing, right? I'm sure you wasn't no slouch, right? But how did you take on being like a real star now, you know what I mean, in these LA streets and beyond, and just being the man? Like, did you go crazy at first and have to get it together, or how did you manage all that, bro? Because I'm sure you had your days, bro.
Yeah. To be honest with you, Cuddy G, it's like I don't like what you see is what I am. Like this is who I am. I don't think I'm a celebrity or an icon. I'm just a cat that made it out of Inglewood, black and Mexican, who's living the life he loves and loves the life he lives. Like my daddy, rest his soul, taught me. Always keep a smile. Always, be sharp. Always be a man. It's like I'm doing everything God blessed me to do. I don't look at myself like, when you say that, does it rub me? No, it humbles me. It honors me, because when Cassius, my 2-year-old son, who's going to be 3 November 12th, when he looks back in YouTube or Google's Louie, Cuddy Mac, Soul Train, actor, when I'm long gone, when he sees this, I'ma know. Speaking of destiny, I was supposed to do all that for the world, but for Cassius, for my son. Emotionally, when he sees that, he gonna be like, that was my daddy. So ain't no star. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and the world just happens to see it. Anywhere I go, man, people say that to me. I'm hugs, I'm love. It's from the heart. I've never looked at myself as a star. Do I stand out? Yeah, I'm 6'5" with coolness, and I know how to dress, and I got a gift of gab, and I'm strong, and I'm a man, I'm thorough with it. But I'm just a talented man who's doing and putting his dream into action. I had a dream to be a Soul Train dancer, so I had to put it into action. I had a dream to be an actor, so I took acting classes. So I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do, like you, and like you. Ain't no
I
stars.
respect.
Ain't
I
no star.
respect.
Humbly, I would never call myself a star. I don't like really. What is a star? You know what I mean? Like you ain't no better than me. I'm no better than you. We all trying to get along. Like you, G. Like, I feel your pedigree. I feel what you do. Even your co-hosts. You guys do what you do. Nobody else is doing what you do like you do it. And now look at us. Now we vibing. Now you telling my history for what? For you and for you, and also for me, but for Cassius.
For Cassius.
That's my stuff.
That's right. That's right. One more question.
Got the
Thank you.
wrong person. I talk too much.
No. You're good. We love it, bro. You're giving it. You're giving it. You know what I mean. Your heart, bro. We appreciate it. One more thing. A question from the chat. My brother asked, how did you feel about? Obviously, you were gone by then. You had 10 years. It seemed like it was longer. It seemed like you were there through the 90s a little bit more. But how did you feel about the transition of Soul Train towards the end, when, of course, Don was gone and they had the different co-hosts, Shamar, and all these different things, where it kind of was different than what it was used to? How did you feel about that, bro?
Let me ask you a quick question, Cuddy G. Where are you from?
I'm from LA, bro.
You from LA? So you grew up in the streets, right?
Yes, sir.
So when you was growing up, are the streets different now than how they were when you was growing up?
Yes, sir.
That's how I feel. Like, I can't even go up to Rogers anymore because those young cats, they don't even know who I am. I'm like, son, I used to dunk on your daddy. You banging on me? No, don't do that. Go inside of Rogers Park. You see my name, Hall of Fame. But I can't even go up to Rogers without. It's different.
Right.
Soul Train in the 90s became different. I came back. I went from 1980 to 1990. Right. True story. So I come back in the 90s with Bill Biv DeVoe. Right. New Edition. But the three members, Bill Biv DeVoe. Right. So I hadn't been on the train in a while, but I'm with BBD. Those are my cats. I'm still touring with them. If you look at their song Hootie Mac, I got 3 songs on there. Rapping on one, talking on one, and wrote. So Hootie Mac, Nickelbag, and Lovely.
Okay.
So Bill Biv DeVoe, Go Record. It's right in my house right now. It was a part of that. So I come back on Soul Train with Bill Biv DeVoe, and Don's like, Big Lou, how you been? I'm like, I'm good. And the dancers are out there, right? I was like, hey Don, let me bust a couple moves. He was like, oh man, they wouldn't understand, man. They ain't ready for you, man. It's a different time. It's a different era. So the 90s was a different time. It was a different era. Can I still boogie? Of course. Can I still be on stage if Dougie Fresh or Rakim or LL had a concert and they pulled me up a New Edition? Of course, I've done it. But the 80s was a certain era, the 70s was a certain era, and the 90s was a certain era. So I did what I was supposed to do in the 80s. Could I bust a move on in the 90s with them? Yeah. But I would have been invading in their world. You know what I mean? So but every year of Soul Train.
How did you feel kind of too, like, about how the show was going at that time? Because at that time it just, I don't know, it was just different, the way the show was going, I guess, with the different hosts and all that. Were you feeling that, or were you cool with that, or what? We know how you felt personally, but just as how the show started going.
That's a tricky question, because if I'm gonna keep it a buck, I would never want to dissipate my love and honor of Soul Train. They did what they could do with what they had. The hosts, they weren't Don, but they were who they were. Could I have hosted? Yeah. Would have been different? Yeah. It would have been just Cuddy Mackin. But those cats, they did what they did. You know what I mean? Was it corny? Nah. Who am I to say?
Right.
But it was once I stopped really boogieing and dancing on Soul Train, I left it alone. I had to go for mine. Just like with New Edition, I had to separate. My mama told me New Edition got theirs, Mio. You got to get yours. That's when I went to took acting classes. So I couldn't go on a road with New Edition. Now I'm in an acting class. I'm doing theater. I'm doing Othello. I'm doing Racing in the Sun. I'm doing all these theater productions because I had to get mine. So yeah, you got to keep moving, man. You got to keep moving.
That's great answer, bro. Deandra Chanel, turn it back over to you for a minute, because I go on all night with this guy, man. Let me see, you're muted. I don't know. Deandra, maybe she's not ready. You're muted. I don't know. You're muted, Deandra.
Okay. So I
There you
actually
go.
wanted to. I know it's been known that Soul Train had this thing where they frowned upon outside work while you were on the show, right? Like they didn't want the dancers interacting with, the celebrities and things like that, because to me, in my personal opinion, you would kind of walk away from the show and kind of do your own thing, and they'd lose the stars that they had. Now, had you kept that momentum going of like kind of just sticking to it, where do you think your life would have been had you just kind of rode the wave of Soul Train for the rest of your career instead of making
Yeah, I
making
didn't hear the beginning part of your question. Can you say it again? Can you repeat that?
Oh, I was asking you because I know that Soul Train was known for like Don really frowning upon the dancers going outside and doing work, like you working with New Edition and things like that. Like I know he didn't like stuff like that. Um, what was it about you guys getting outside work that was frowned upon on the show? Like why was this a thing?
Well, I can only speak for myself personally. For me, not just with New Edition, but for me, uh, like Mtume, Howard Johnson, Frankie Beverly and Mays, LL, Nice and Smooth, Houdini, like all those entertainers, they seeked, they wanted me to be in the music video or come to their performances, and Don had nothing to do with that. Don's structure was Soul Train. Once you left the gates of Soul Train in Hollywood, he's not going to control what you do outside. He can only control his show and his your time on that show. But even when I was on Soul Train, I could do pretty much whatever I wanted to do. I had because I was bringing a certain entertainment, whether it was a Soul Train line, whether it was a Kid and Play coming down the Soul Train line with me, all the artists who were big fans of my style, because my style was so it was like the everyday cat just boogieing, like you see somebody in the club and you just boogieing. That's kind of what I meant to the hip hop culture and also to the R&B culture. So Don, he wasn't a hater with me, so I don't know how to really answer that truthfully. I could just say one morning he called me personally. He was like, "Hey, Big Lou, it's Don." I was like, "Don who?" "Don Cornelius." Man, I hung up on him, right? Man, you know, Don, man. What's going on, man? He called me back. "Don't hang up again, man. It's me." I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, big homie?" He was like, "Well, Natalie Cole wants you to perform, rest her soul, on Soul Train Music Awards, the second one, in the pink Cadillac." He was like, "She requested you, Natalie Cole, Nat King Cole's daughter, right?" He said, "Listen, I just want you to sit in the pink Cadillac, do your thing, but don't outshine her. Just sit in the pink Cadillac. She's going to sing to the audience, but sing to you." I was like, "All right. I'm still going to do what I do." But to answer your question, he did help us in certain ways if an artist wanted you. He didn't hate and be like, "Nah, I'm not going to let you use him." Or he called me and told me that. So if you look, Pink Cadillac, Natalie Cole's Soul Train Music Awards, I'm in a pink Cadillac, but I'm still Cuddy Mack and I'm still doing my thing. Am I outshining her? No, I'm just playing my position and with her. So he did help me. He did. By letting me dance on this show. Here we are, us three talking. If I wasn't, if I didn't ever have a chance to dance on Soul Train, who knows what life I would have taken? Who knows? But that was my introduction into the entertainment. Again, destiny, my dream into action. And I just went for it and did my thing. True Cuddy Mack. That's gonna be the name of my movie. True Cuddy Mack.
So this is, I have a couple of more Soul Train questions, and then we're going to get into your movie and TV career. Now, let's talk about the levels of stardom based off of where you were standing on the show. For like some of the younger audience that we have, they don't understand where you stood determine your sense of stardom in a sense on Soul Train. Like whether you were in the cage or you were on the ground or by the board. Talk about that for the audience. Like if you were in a certain part of the stage on Soul Train, like that means you made it in a sense, right?
To answer your question, yeah. Okay, so there's a center riser, right? That's where the main dancers dance. I think it's like 4 couples, 5 couples. So there's the main riser. and then there's the side risers. There's two couples on this side, and then there's the high risers. Well, most of the camera shots are focused on the center riser, the main one riser, and then the side riser or way up top. I never wanted to be up top because you only got a few camera shots, but I always wanted to be on the main riser because then I had more room to maneuver and to do my thing. And you're supposed to be, you're supposed to have a dance partner. All my dance partners, the females, they got mad because once the music started, I was high stepping. I was gone. I was going from camera to camera pointing. I wasn't the best trained dancer, but I had style, and I knew what I wanted to do. I'm setting up shots, producing shots, choreographing before I even knew what it was. I was just having a ball, just doing my thing. I would say this to the young audience, who's ever watching, whoever might see this. If you got a dream, just put it into action. Like you two, you know exactly what you want to do, and you know where you want to go. So it's about what you can do to take that to the next level. Well, I think us three doing this right now is next level. Humbly, I say that, and I honor you guys giving me the platform to talk about something that I might not have been able to talk about for the last 7 months. So now, as I'm talking about it, you can't shut me the fuck up. Excuse me, because
talk, brother. You got
the world is going to hear it, and somebody's going to watch this and be like, "Yo, that cat, he crazy, but he's speaking the truth. He ain't coming off like no weirdo or high sedity or this and that. He's speaking the truth, man." Who said I was supposed to make it out of Inglewood? The Bloods could have killed me. The Crips could have killed me. The Mexicans could have killed me. So I was able to maneuver and get the same respect through all these gangs growing up in Inglewood. Never banged, but always had these things on the court. I had to. That was my survival skills. Do I know Crips? Fuck yeah. Do I know Bloods? F yeah. Mexican gangsters? Yes. And they all respect me. I work out. I still work out.
Hey, you know what, Cuddy, I think, man, again, a great path you chose, and I think it was just God chose you special because I think, like you said, growing up how you did, you could have been a few different things. You definitely could have been a cold gangster, you know what I mean? Black and brown, 6'5", you know what I mean? You could have been a cold G. You could have been a pimp. I could see you I'm sure you were in this pimps was trying to bring you in because you could have been a cold pimp. You know, I see a lot of things you could have been. So to choose the route that you chose and to even now to see you, all the things you've done and the things you're still doing, man, I think that's a beautiful story because that is a special story because you could have been many of things, mainly negative.
Yeah, because everybody you just talked about, gangsters, pimps, hustlers, they taught me what not to do, respectfully. Everything that they went through, they said, I don't want you to go through that. You're gonna do something that's gonna be great. There's a cat named Ed Butler from Baltimore. He's a true Cuddy. He calls me, he just had a stroke. He calls me, he was like, hey Cuddy, you gonna make it, baby. I'm proud of you, man. I'm telling you, Cuddy, you gonna make it, man. I'm seeing you on Family Business, man. You gonna make it. Man, that cat was the strongest cat in Inglewood, man. Now he has a stroke, but for him to say that to me, man, that breaks my heart, but it strengthens my will because I'm doing it not just for me and Cassius and my loved ones, but I'm doing it for him because he raised me. He sold drugs. He shot heroin. He was a real gangster, a real true gangster from Inglewood and Baltimore. He said, you got the talent, baby. You're going to do something with it. He just called me the other day. Wow. He's a true Cuddy. He named me Cuddy because they took me to Baltimore and they taught me Inglewood and Baltimore it's all about, you know, Cuddy G. It's just being thorough from wherever you from, man. A man gonna know another man. It's just thoroughness, man. You ain't gotta be real gangster. They ain't gonna tell you he a real gangster. But look, silently he gonna, if he got a dope fiend you or win, lose, or draw, I don't fuck with nobody, but I don't fear nobody. Did I want to be a pimp? Of course. They had all the money, all the honeys. Did I want to be a gangster? I wanted to fight and have the respect as one. I want to be a Mac. I am a Mac, a true Cuddy Mac. So when I play a role like Senor Cruz, I put a little Mexican accent on him. And I play him with charm and humor because you already see he's already a gangster. You see that. And my loyalty is to the Duncans. So I'm already playing. That's why people love Senor Cruz, because I'm faithful, but I'm charming and I have humor. But the subtext is, don't fuck with him.
Right.
Real G. He's a real gangster. So that was a beautiful question, Cuddy G. Yeah, man.
Thank you. Let me get a couple more questions before I turn it back over to Deandra, because people in the chat asked too. The homie Stomps asked, what was it like? Hold on. Yeah, what was it like being a part of your first Soul Train line? The first one. I know you done many, but what was the first one like?
Who said that? Homie Stomps?
The homie Stomper. Yeah, Big Stomps.
What up, Big Stomp? Cuddy Stomp. Yeah. Man, that's my very first Soul Train line. Let me see. My very first Soul Train, you're supposed to go down one time, right?
Right.
I was selfish, man. I went down like 3 times, right? And the third time I brought a honey dip with me because I didn't know the politics of it, you know. And then, you know, I'm cutting back up to the line. I mean, the song's still on. I want to go down again. So I just wanted to come down and just do some cool shit, you know. Coming down, I'm pointing at cats. I'm getting 5. I might have threw out some money. It was just, I just wanted to go down that line and just be cool, man.
Right.
Just be a cool cat. Because I wasn't pop locking this and that. I was in a suit, brim, and Party Busters, Michael Jackson, James Brown, Elvis moves, and Cuddy Mack. So I know it was some cool shit, man. You know?
Right.
Cool
hey,
shit.
one more from CeeLo. He asked. Shout out to Big Stomps, Montebello. Hey, my bro CeeLo asked, even when you started getting on Soul Train, you knew you had your flavor and all that. Where were you, or even people from the show, like getting their moves, their flavor? Like, because I know you had to be seeing what was going on in the city. Did you go to certain clubs? Did you link with people? And he asked, how did you hook up with the Soul Brothers? I think that with Def Jeff.
Hook up.
His soul.
Oh, excuse me. Who asked the first question?
CeeLo. Carlo.
CeeLo. Yeah, CeeLo. Cuddy Mack. Man, we so after the taping, we would go to the hottest clubs like Century Club, Paradise 24, Roxbury, Moody's. You know, but it was more the Paradise 24 and Century Club. So we in there, I'm telling you, man, it was they had this back room and all they played was hip hop. Hammers in there, Biggie Smalls, Tupac, New Edition, LL. Everybody's like in there.
Right.
We was just in there boogieing, hootie banging, but just boogieing. You can see who's over there in the cut, Hammer, peeping, right? Because I'm telling you, man, that's what we perfected. Like, that's where I really perfected how to dance. Because whatever the dance was at the time, Gigolo, whatever it was, I learned how to dance at the club.
Right.
And plus, we had all the honey dips. The honey dips knew us from Soul Train, but we would just go and just want to boogie. Like me and the Cuddy Max, and we would after the taping, we would dance from taping be over maybe like 8. So we get to the club, we get in free. We go from 8 to 2 every weekend, man. That's where we really honed and really learned how to boogie. And then just would take it, because there was 2 tapings once a month for Soul Train. Saturday, pretty much all the groups, and then Sunday the dance numbers and the Soul Train line. So yeah, and the clubs was where we really perfected like our dance and boogie skills. So I'm at the height. This is right when I'm at New Edition. But right at the same time, I met the Soul Brothers. The Soul Brothers was so funky, but they were really, really dancers, man. These cats,
Right.
man, they was boogie. These was boogie lords, man. But they had their, and all they would dance to was like James Brown, Big Daddy Kane beats, and I love beats, right? But their dance style was faster, and it was oh my God, it was. I never seen anything like it. So the Soul Brothers, they never had a chance to dance on the riser. They would just boogie out there, but they would tear the floor up. But I would see these young cats, and they was young cats, and I saw them, they saw me, so I made them Cuddy Max. So every chance I got, I brought them down the Soul Train line. We had routines that we'd work out at lunchtime. We'd be hootie banging, drinking tequila, whatever, working on a routine. Go down the Soul Train line. So it'd be Cuddy Mac and the Soul Brothers. So I made them young Cuddy Macs to this day. And then I would bring them on stage every now and then, boogie with me. But then that's when they were dancing for Def Jeff. Def
Right.
Jeff, he knew who I was. He said they were his dancers. So they all invited me to bring in, I forget the name of the video. But anyway, Def Jeff was with a Delicious Vinyl. And
Right.
who else was Delicious Vinyl? Young MC. So Young
Right.
MC, like,
Tone Loc.
them dancers right there? Yeah, Tone Loc. The Soul Brothers and Lusky, I want them to be in my video. So we was in Bust the Move, if you ever see that. So that was like the beginning of hip hop and music videos. So yeah, Soul Brothers meets Cuddy Mac, and the rest is faithful Cuddy history.
Man, you got so much history with all these legends, bro. I mean, you're a legend, obviously. One more thing for me, just personally, how did you, before I pass it back over to Deandra, how did you of course, you being on Soul Train, especially in the 80s, you met all the legends, they all came through there. How did you deal with that? Did you network? Did you meet? Did you fall back? Like, did you play cool? How did you go about meeting a lot of these people? Or were you excited? I'm sure all the dancers, not knowing who was going to be there, or did you know? And how did you guys deal with that?
That's a great question, man. For me, it was kind of cool because all these legends that you call, like, I'm telling you, Cuddy G, I saw the birth of hip hop come through Soul Train. Their very first performances was on Soul Train. Look at it. LL, Rock the Bells, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, the Beastie Boys, Heavy D, Salt and Pepper, Run DMC. They all came through Soul Train to be introduced to the world. This is before Arsenio. So
Right.
they were fans. Like, I was watching the dances in Al Green in the 70s. They was watching young Cuddy Mac and us on Soul Train in the 80s. So I'm sure they said, man, they were so familiar with it. Like, once we get there, man, we want to meet them. But I had, I listened to their music, but I never saw them. I loved LL growing up. But to see him perform, to see all these other groups perform, and they had love for me, destiny. It was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen, and it did happen. But there was this place that when they would come in, like the W, but they would all stay at the Franklin Plaza. You'd have New Edition on one floor, LL Cool J, Run DMC, Salt Pepper, Big Daddy Kane, Hammer, Queen Latifah, all in this one hotel. Because when they came in to do Soul Train, that's where they all stayed, the Franklin Plaza. Prince Marquis D from the Fat Boy. Look, let me tell you something. Me and New Edition was in the room. Young New Edition, right? We listened to music, but we was actually working on boogie moves, like dancing, because we just listen. We been there listening to Eric B and Rakim, just dancing, right? They dance. They checking my style. I'm checking their style. I kid you not, yo. Rest his soul. Prince Marquis D bust through the door. He came in like this. Not the finger, but he just came in like this. and we all just like froze because that's the beginning of the Cuddy Mac Go DD. So he came in like with just his shoulders, right?
Right.
And then it's like the Cuddy Lords, we just all froze and just watched him. So he gave us that introduction into the DD, like which is one of our signature moves. Go DD,
Right.
go, and
Yeah, I
we
know.
put all that into it. That came from Prince Markie D. I will never leave that moment out. Rest his soul. Somebody asked him years ago, did you know, with New Edition and Cuddy Mac, did you know that they were inspired by your shoulders? That's what we say. It's all in the shoulders. That's Prince Markie D's shoulders. That we took it to the next level and put everything else in it. But being around those cats, man, it's just like being around you and being around her. It was just homies.
That's right.
But they just happen to be young legend superstars.
That's right.
Cat from Inglewood, just hanging out.
Go ahead, Deandra.
So let us thank you. So let us visit. We're past the Soul Train market. You have given us so many years there, but I want to talk about your acting career. You're so well versed in your acting, and I know you said that you took acting classes. You've been in like classic movies like The Players Club and Why Do Fools Fall in Love. You've been in like children's movies like Holes, and you've been on NCIS and along with The Family Business. And you've even won a couple of awards for that movie Takeout, right?
Huh?
You won won awards for the movie Takeout as well. You won 2 awards for that.
For which movie?
Takeout Girl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So with your resume being so well versed, I know you said that you took acting classes. How helpful was that in your acting career?
That goes back to my career concept from Inglewood to Hollywood, dreams into action. Once I did my time on Soul Train, I knew I had this talent. So I said, well, dear God, what's my next chapter? Like, what's my next thing that you want me to do? So I prayed on it. I went to Redondo Beach and prayed on it. God sent me to El Camino College, and I took every acting class that there was. I cut my teeth again in theater. I became a classically trained actor because I wanted to learn the craft. I knew everything that I had, but I didn't know the craft of acting. Like, I wanted to study theater. I wanted to do plays. My first play was Much Ado About Nothing, which was Shakespeare. So I started studying Shakespeare. Once with Shakespeare, it's all about once you know who you're talking to, why, and what the story is about with Shakespeare, it's easy. So if I start studying with Shakespeare, then everything else is not going to be easy, but I'm going to have a better understanding. So then once I outgrew El Camino, my acting teacher, Mr. Ron Scarlata, he was like, because I did like 20 plays there. My last play was, again, Othello, The Lead, Raisin in the Sun, Walter Lee, Damn Them Eggs and Damn All the Eggs That Ever Was. So I knew I had craft now. I knew I was ready now. I knew I had, because I was a classically trained actor. Now it's like, let me get an agent. Let me go. Mr. Scarlata, he was like, man, you outgrow El Camino. You got to go somewhere professional where they're better and they're working and they're booking jobs and getting jobs. I went to the Beverly Hills Playhouse with Neil Casillas, rest his soul. My first scene was from Raisin in the Sun. He was like, go back and tell Scarlata, thank you for sending you to me, but let me tell you something. You full of shit. That's what he told me. The man's like 77. I was like, what the fuck you mean I'm full of shit? I'm talking to the teacher. It's like 90 students in there, but I didn't give a fuck. Excuse me. I'm from Inglewood. I'm Black and Mexican with a chip on my shoulder. Like, you couldn't tell me shit. That it wasn't the way to go. I wasn't a professional. So he says, well, you want to step outside? He's 77. In that moment, I calmed the fuck down. He said, listen, you got a chip on your shoulder, but you talented. You don't know everything. Let me help you. Changed my life. I became a working actor by studying with him. Giovanni Ribisi, George Clooney, Michael Pena, Robert Townsend, Lana Parrilla, Doris Roberts. All these people are in my class. I'm just a cat from Inglewood, but with craft and with confidence. But I had a chip. Once I lose that chip, I became a working actor. So then I booked some co-stars. I said, okay, co-stars, but I just came from doing Othello and Raisin in the Sun. I want to book a guest star. I want to do something better than that. Now I started booking guest stars. And then I started booking recurring. So I did Holes with Shia LaBeouf and John Voight. John Voight said, Ski, how tall are you? 6'5". Be 6'5". Stand tall. That's a beautiful lesson. Can y'all still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Then I did like I said, I did a movie with the Rock. The Rock stylist was a Soul Train fanatic. So as soon as I get to the movie set with the Rock, he already knew who I was. I'm like, yo, Mr. Rock, you know, it's cool working with you. Come on, Soul Train, we're gonna knock this out. Then I booked Blue Bloods, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Workaholics, all these dope ass movies because I came with craft. And I'm not gonna get every part because Black and Mexican, but every part to the young cats who want to become actors. Sometimes, even if you don't book the part, as long as you can book that room, go in with confidence, know your shit, study, stay in acting class. I have acting, my next acting class starts January 1st. And I'm on 5 seasons of Family Business. So you always want to continue to keep taking acting classes. I'm just living, I'm living my life, I'm living my destiny, which all started on the stage of Soul Train. So Senior Cruise on Family Business is just a continuation. I'm still the same dude. I still got the same confidence, the same swag. I'm just older, but I'm more refined, and I don't have a chip on my shoulder.
What would you say would be your most challenging and rewarding role that you've played throughout your career?
I would say right now in my life, being the son to my mother who has pre-dementia, being able to maneuver through that and not let it frustrate the fuck out of me. Crying inside because I see my mama not knowing who I am on Christmas. That's the most challenging role for me, is just continue to be the man who I am, and I'm raising Cassius, you know. I'm raising 2 other boys, 20 and 18, 3 dogs and my wife. That's the best role ever. It's in the battlefield, yeah. But again, this is the best role, being a father, being a husband, being the leader of the house, which is right through that door. That's my best role.
We'll pray for your situation with your mother. We're sorry to hear about that.
Oh, it's life. You know what I mean? We all go through it. It's life. I just need to have the right tools to get through it when my mama don't recognize me. You know, when I'm like, Mama, I'm really crying out as a son, because that's my mama. Man. That's the lady who took care of me when I was a kid, growing up in Inglewood, cooking me tacos and manure while I watched Soul Train back in the day, and my daddy over there drinking beers, listening to the Temptations, Al Green, and all that. Ain't no feeling sorry. It's just the battlefield. It's our life. We all got family, so ain't no feeling sorry. We just living the life we love the life we love. I'm gonna go and kiss my mama goodnight as soon as this is over, and go maybe do some push-ups and burpees a little bit.
Hey, program time, bro. Program time.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm gonna have to take you to Service Spoon, man. Get us some food, man.
Let's do it. Right in Inglewood. Hey, the homie got his store over there now too. 211, right?
Yeah, I see him every day. Me and Cassius, we just saw him Friday. Me and Cassius, we walk up because my wife works out of the house. So from Wednesday to Friday, we're at the Service Spoon. You can catch us. Come have some chicken and waffles. So on Wednesday they have oxtails. 211. Yo, what up, young blood? You know, he's doing something with his store.
Yes.
Good cat. Always respectful. Always respectful. You know, it's respect, man. You got to respect. I think I got the most respect for cats on both sides, three sides, the Crips, the Bloods, and the Mexicans, because Cuddy G, I don't know your pedigree, your life, but look, in the streets, it's a battlefield, homie.
Right.
It's a battlefield,
Right.
and you gotta bang. You look a certain way. I tell my sons, you roll up to 7-Eleven and seven homies is out there, and you with a fine breezy. Let them roll. Let them roll, because as soon as you get out and walk in, they're gonna check
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Check, even though you can't say you don't.
Yeah.
No. So you gotta learn to maneuver, man. But I've learned so much from cats from the streets, man. So much, man. Those are cats that saved my life. Cats in the pen would be like, hey, homie, I just did 10. We called you cool, homie. We called you cool. So you cool to me. They got dubs. That's respect.
Yeah. And like you said, that's all it's about, having respect and knowing how to maneuver and knowing how to move around and just showing respect. That's it, bro. You know what I mean? Especially as men. We're not kids. So as a man, that's all you give another man is respect. If he deserves it, and that's it. It should be reciprocated.
Unless he goofy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he deserves it, you know what I mean? If not, you just keep it moving. I'm not even going to entertain it. You know what I mean? So there it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's survival skills. That's what I try to tell my sons.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So with the longevity of your career, is there anything that you haven't done that you dream of doing? Any acting roles that you haven't gotten that you would love to do? Anybody that you want to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
I would say that's a great question. I want to do a movie about my success, a documentary from Inglewood to Hollywood, Cuddy Mack. I want to play a father figure in it. I want to be able to write my own movie, direct, produce about my life and what I've done and what I've accomplished. This platform allows people to get a little insight. Who's ever seen this? It might spark them to do something with their life, because I'm a success story. I survived the streets of Inglewood. Now I'm trying to conquer Hollywood. Career concert from Inglewood to Hollywood. So I want to star, write, produce, direct my own movie, my own film about my life, and leave not just everything you say part of my legacy. I want that to be a part of my legacy. But it's going to take for me or somebody watching this and says, well, just pick up your pen and just start writing it. That's all you got to do. When you write, you're writing your own ticket. So there's a movie in me that the world needs to see.
Hey, Louie, let me cut in right quick, Deandra, because I know Big D has been kind of speaking on this for a minute. Being that you are Black and Mexican, homie Big D said he could definitely see you doing some great things for the community as far as bringing the Black and brown together, because as you know, in certain pockets there's still issues, right? Or just people that don't know, he's saying that you could be a big part of bringing that together and bringing communities together, because you are well known, you're respected, and you speak well, and you know what's going on. What do you think about that?
I think that's valuable. That would be a valuable platform, because I'm not a preacher. I can only speak my truth. Being Black and Mexican, growing up in Inglewood, South Central, in Redondo Beach, I had to survive. And it was tough. It wasn't. It was tough in them streets, man. Cats who don't have love for you, man. So I had to be able to not show fear, fight if I had to fight, but just try to maneuver, check the temperature of the streets. I would say the Black and the brown, we all in the same car, man. We all in the same car. White man, he in the lead. He gonna stay in the lead. So we got to be able to out finesse that white man. No disrespect to the white man, but Blacks and brown, we got it the hardest, homie. But we the strongest. We the most thoroughest and the smartest, and got the most love in that battlefield. So if I'm talking to the Blacks and browns, I'm saying, listen, man, we in the same car, man. Don't hate their color, or don't hate their culture. Let's just try to coexist. I'm in the gym late at night. I see blacks, Mexicans, Crips, Bloods. Everybody's coming there to work out. Ain't nobody banging on each other. You know what sets are in there. So you got to be able to maneuver through the battlefield, man. That's how I was able to coexist and to be where I'm sitting right now talking to you guys. I don't really know like the in and outs of the thoroughness or the politics of the street when you go deep into the Imperial Course and you go deep into the Jordan Downs or all these neighborhoods, Watts and Compton. And, yo, that's a whole different world, and they got their own rules, man. You got to respect that. You got to know where you're going and have the respect for those people, our people, blacks and browns. You can't just walk in goofy and a weirdo with flip-flops on and just think, nah. You got to respect every hood, every man. That's how I'm able to maneuver, man.
Right. Nah, I'm gonna speak on that. That was a good point. Go ahead, Deandra.
So what's next for Cuddy Mac? What else do we have to expect in the near future?
What's next for me? I'm about to get out of here and go do some burpees, get that program, maybe eat some tacos, kiss my son, tuck my mama in. I don't want to hold y'all. I think that we've covered a lot. I don't want to take up any more of your time. But this, to me, in closing, I feel like I met two people that know a little slice, a little bit about my life. You say he's an icon, or he's a celebrity, or he's this, he's that. You'll see I'm just a human being who did something with his life, man. And if I can just earn your respect of whoever's watching this, and you might see me and say, hey man, I saw what you talked about, man. I respect that. At the end of the day, man, that's all we want is respect. And I honor that. I honor what you guys did for me for this time. And I don't want to hold you too much longer. I feel like I've said it all right now. You know what I mean? I just want to be able to take care of my mama. She leave or I leave. Raise my son Cassius. I don't know how many more summers I got left, but I want to see him grow up. I want to be a good husband to my wife and my two boys and my three dogs, and continue to do whatever God has planned for me. Senior cruise, I want to get out the wheelchair. I'm in a wheelchair right now. I want to book my next 10 jobs, commercials, movies, TV shows. But I want to write a movie about my life one day, man. Any writers, any directors, anybody know? Let's talk. You can find me on IG, Louie Ski Carr, or Facebook, Louie Ski Carr. I got merchandise for Soul Train, Cuddy Mac, Family Business, Senior Cruise. Let's talk, man. Cuddy Mac.
Cuddy Mac. Hey, blessings to you. Thank you, homie. This was a classic right here, bro. Thank you, homie.
Before you go, your merch. Let's talk a little bit more about that and where exactly it could be found.
Yeah, well, if you see, I don't know if you can see that. My merch, like when I see people wearing T-shirts, everybody wears T-shirts, Dodgers or whatever, Rolling Stones, New Edition. Like I said, you know what? I want to. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see my tattoo?
Yeah.
Let me see. Hold up.
That's a little tattoo.
Okay, there we go. Soul Train. I see it now. You see it?
So when social media started, people wanted, a picture, this and that. They wanted something, right? I looked at that tattoo. I said, man, Soul Train meant so much to me, meant so much to the culture. Let me make some T-shirts for the culture. So if you look at that, right, that's the same tattoo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that's Cuddy Mac. So I made these T-shirts for the culture, not to make money, but just my first 100 T-shirts, I just gave them. IG, Facebook, here, take them. But then they wanted hoodies and sweats and this and that. And it got costly because I'm raising a family. So I just started not slinging them, but selling them, cheap. So people wanted hoodies and T-shirts and hats, and I said, okay, it's for the culture. Let me make it reasonable so they can get some. Now here comes Senior Cruise with Family Business. I made some T-shirts for Family Business and Senior Cruise, and then with the whole Cuddy Mac. So my merchandise you can get. It's not even expensive, just so you can have a piece of memorabilia.
Piece of history.
I sent out. So if you want, check my merchandise. Just hit me up on IG or Facebook. Louie Ski Carr, you'll find me. I answer all my DMs and all the questions about my merchandise. If you're in town, I meet you at whatever. If you somewhere far away, I mail it to you. I put four hoodies in. I was downtown and made 4 orders today. 2 Soul Train hoodies and 2 Family Business Senior Cruise. So that's how you get it.
Thank you so much again. If there's ever any projects that you want to promote in the future, you're always more than welcome to come back. Definitely.
Yeah. But again, man, big respect to both of you, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm glad that we were able to make a little part of history, and hopefully excite some people who watch this, and also you guys keep doing what you're doing. Down the road, if you ever want to do a part 2, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Most
Always.
definitely. Thank you, Cuddy, man. Real stand-up guy, man. Real solid soldier, brother. Thank you, man, for all you've done and all you are still doing. And thank you most definitely for blessing our platform history tonight. Thank you, bro.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Cuddy Mac, can I get a Cuddy finger salute?
Cuddy Mac. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Salute to the homie, man. Cuddy Mac, y'all. There it is. There it was. All right, Deandra.
So next week, I am not saying a word this week about next week. Just know, guys, tune in. You guys are going to be extremely surprised and extremely happy with the guest that we have. Because you don't know yet. I haven't talked to you. But I will be talking to you after the show. So you guys tune in next week. We have a very, very, very special guest that you guys are going to go crazy for. So please tune in for that.
All righty. Much love, y'all. Peace. Till the next time. We are